way that the kit is designed, it comes with thrillers and chillers. And we're gonna take our red thriller and we're gonna put it here. It tells you on the bag what it is, but it also tells you here, it says thrillers are shiny. So we're gonna take, so clearly you can see the difference between them. One is more shiny than the other. So this must be the red chiller, and in fact it is. This is the blue thriller. We're gonna put them right on their spots, the way they're supposed to be. And like I said, in this kit, it's a little more important to lay them out on the mat and really use the mat, because what we're gonna do is a little more advanced. You're probably watching this video because you're either like a super fan of Thinking Putty and you really like what we make, or you read this mat and you did the simple formulas and now you want to go to advanced and expert, and that's what we're going to do today. But first we'll start with just some basic beginner, novice, intermediate. So now we have our 6 putties out. Why are they called chillers and thrillers? The chillers are the color of the putty after you've mixed it when it's chilling out. It's just sitting on the table, it's chilling. It's cold, chill, cold, get it? Room temperature, that's the color it's gonna be. And the thriller, that's the color when it gets all excited and it's been warmed up in your hands, or you put it on a warm mug and it's having a thrill. Woohoo! So here's how we do it. We're gonna take out our putty here, okay? I'm just gonna do one of these formulas that's right here on the mat. And I think we should do purple to white. So the way you look at this mat is you sort of look at the result. It's like math class. You look at the answer and you say, oh, I wanna get a certain answer, so then I need to follow a formula to get that answer. In this case, I want a putty that changes from purple to white. So I'm gonna take my translucenty clear putty, just like this, and I'm going to mix it with a blue chiller, you can see the snowflake, and a red chiller, snowflake. Just as a point of information, you can see the thrillers are the hot sun. So we're gonna take blue and red. So we're gonna take little tiny pieces. Now, how big should those pieces be? Well, I'm gonna show you, because if we flip the mat, I'm gonna move these down to the other side. You'll see we have here the Thinking Putty measuring bar. Now, what is so special? This looks really simple, but I'll tell you, this is actually really neat because it lets you take a tiny little piece of putty and it lets you roll it out and really get a very precise measurement. What you want to do is you want to roll it so that the little tube you make fits inside the bar. And then that tells you that it's equivalent to a certain size ball. So this is a little big for a pinch. I'm gonna put some back. I'm gonna roll it back up into a ball, and you're going to see it's about the right size. So that way you can record your formula. You can choose whether you're gonna have a smidge or a glob or a heap or whatever, but you can control the formula. You can even write down 1 pinch of X, 1 dot of something else, and then I'm gonna get my result. So you could do 1 pinch of blue chiller, 1 glob of red chiller, and that would be a certain kind of purple, and you could change the amounts to get different shades of purple. So let's see if we're gonna do a pinch and a pinch. I'm just curious to see what we get. So that's about a pinch. I'm pretty good because I've been doing this for a while, so I get really close the first time. Don't feel bad if you don't, because how would you know? Now, I'm gonna mix this together, and just from the warmth from my hand, you're gonna see it starts changing color right away. When I mix it into the putty here, you're also gonna see that the putty becomes less clear. It starts turning white. Now, we're gonna get an ice cube, because that is really a great way. Like sometimes you're really warm and it changes super fast, and it's hard to see, well, what was it? Or what's it going to be when it's chilling? So we're gonna get an ice cube and we're gonna find out. So you can see now we have a white putty. Now I've got here a little baggie that I put some ice cubes in. Now why do I put them in a baggie? Well, putty will not absorb water very easily. It kind of beads up on the surface. If you force water into the putty, it will get soft and mushy and real sticky. It's not great. So just put it in a bag, and that way you can transfer the cold of the ice cube without actually making the putty wet. And you can see that when I take it off, I've made a purple. I'm gonna leave it on here for a moment. And we're gonna do the color change from scratch. Let's see what happens. You can see it's changing. I can turn it so that I'm making it, you see how I made it flat? So that means that there's more surface area. There's more putty actually touching the ice, and it's gonna change color more quickly. Now I can see right away that while this is a purple, it's kind of a reddy purple, and I was going for a more bluey purple. If you take a look on the mat here, it talks about primary and secondary colors. You can see that you have primary colors in your chillers, and you have primary colors in your thrillers, right here. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Put them in order there so they're all matching. By mixing primary colors, you create secondary colors. And in creating secondary colors, you have the ability to make green and purple and orange. And by adjusting the ratio, more of one, less of another, you can make any shade in between. Okay, so now we have our purple. And you can see if I split this in half and I leave one down on the table and I use my body warmth, 98.6 degrees, right? What's that in Celsius? 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, that I can quickly, stretching and folding is a great way to get your body temperature into the putty. Now I've made a hypercolor. Isn't that cool? And the thing I like to do, and I'm gonna do it again and again in this video because it really is my favorite, is to stretch it and roll it out and twist it like that. And it just looks so cool. You know when you mix colors, if you're using some other kind of modeling clay or dough, and it looks so neat when you're mixing, but then it's done, right? It's finished because it's just whatever color. With the hypercolors, you can mix them again and again and again because really this is all one color, a purple to white hypercolor. Now, we were gonna make it a little more bluey, and we were gonna make it a little darker. And the way I'm gonna do that is just add a little more chiller. So I'm gonna add a dot of red chiller, and I'm going to add a glob of blue chiller. So I'm hoping that the color of the purple will shift more towards blue, and by adding more, I'll get something a little darker. It's always easier to start with less and add more. You get to play for more time, you get to experiment a little more. I mean, this is how I do it in the lab. I start with the littlest amount, see, is it just enough? Is it the necessary amount, or can we add more? If you go all in, look, maybe you're in a rush, but if you wanna have fun, start with a little and go towards a lot. So let's see. Now again, we've warmed it up with our hands. It's white. I'm gonna use my ice here. Use my ice. We'll see what color we end up with. A darker purple for sure, definitely more blue. This is more like the purple color in Twilight, which is one of my favorites, purple to blue. Okay, so we'll put this one aside. Let's try something else.